This is Germany. For decades, it was the economic engine of Europe, the industrial giant, the country that rebuilt itself from the ashes of World War II into a manufacturing powerhouse. And right now, it's collapsing. 23,900 companies are going bankrupt this year, with 57 billion euros in losses, the highest bankruptcy rate in over a decade. And meanwhile, this country, Poland, the former communist state, the country that was supposed to be playing catch-up for generations, just crossed $1 trillion in GDP. It overtook Switzerland, and it's now the 20th largest economy in the world. How did this happen? How did the roles reverse so completely? The data reveals something way bigger than just two countries swapping places. This is about the future of Europe itself. Here's exactly what happened. Let's put the numbers on the table to illustrate the scale of this paradox. Germany's scene for 2025 looks grim. GDP growth stands at just 0.2%, essentially flat. Corporate bankruptcies have soared to 23,900 cases, impacting over 285,000 employees. Furthermore, personal bankruptcies have hit 76,300, while 5.67 million citizens are now classified as over-indebted. However, the picture changes entirely when we turn to Poland. In 2025, Poland is recording GDP growth of 3.5%, 15 times faster than Germany. Even more striking, they crossed the $1 trillion mark in GDP in September 2025. Poland has registered a record-breaking 150 billion euros in investments and has seen the fastest real income growth in the developed world. This isn't just a temporary market fluctuation. This is a profound structural shift. And to understand how we arrived at this point, we need to go back to where it all began. After World War II, Germany built itself on three pillars. First, heavy industry, cars, chemicals, machinery. Made in Germany became a global stamp of quality. Second, cheap energy, specifically Russian natural gas. Germany imported massive quantities at low prices, powering its factories at a fraction of what competitors paid. Third, export markets, especially China. German luxury cars, precision machinery. Chinese buyers couldn't get enough. By the 2000s, Germany wasn't just Europe's largest economy. It was the model everyone wanted to copy. Poland? Poland was behind the Iron Curtain. Communist, poor, isolated. But then, in 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and everything changed. Poland joined the European Union in 2004. And suddenly, everything was different. 200 billion euros in EU structural funds poured in over the next 2 decades. Roads, bridges, highways, airports, infrastructure that Poland never had under communism was built at unprecedented speed. The country modernized in 20 years what took Western Europe 50. But more importantly, market access. Polish companies could now sell to 450 million consumers across Europe without tariffs, without borders, without restrictions. And foreign investment flooded in. Companies saw an opportunity: European Union membership, European Union standards, but at a fraction of Western European costs. Germany? Germany was paying the bills. German taxpayers funded much of Poland's infrastructure boom. They were, unknowingly, financing the rise of their future competitor. Here's the thing about manufacturing: location matters less than cost. The average wage in Poland is 1/3 of Germany. Same European Union regulations, same quality standards, same access to markets, but labor costs 66% cheaper. The result was inevitable. Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, they all opened massive factories in Poland. German brands, German engineering, Polish workers, lower costs, higher profits. It wasn't just cars. Entire supply chains started shifting east. A German company could keep its headquarters in Munich or Stuttgart, maintain its premium brand image, but actually manufacture in Wrocław or Gdansk. Germany was literally exporting its own industrial base to Poland. The jobs that built Germany's middle class were moving east. And Poland was taking them, one factory at a time. February 2022, Russia invades Ukraine. And Germany's entire energy model collapses overnight. Germany's cheap gas? Gone. The pipelines shut down. the supply disappeared. Energy costs for German industry didn't just rise, they tripled. Overnight, factories that had been profitable for decades became money-losing operations. BASF, one of the world's largest chemical companies and a cornerstone of German industry, announced it was permanently downsizing its operations in Germany. They were moving production outside the country. To the United States, where natural gas was cheaper. To China, where energy costs were lower. The German chemical industry was hollowing out. Steel production became unprofitable. Aluminum smelting shut down. Energy-intensive manufacturing, the backbone of the German industrial model, was no longer viable at German energy prices. Poland? Less dependent on Russian gas. They had diversified earlier, built LNG terminals, and invested in renewables. When the energy crisis hit, Poland survived. Germany didn't. For decades, Germany sold premium cars to China. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Chinese buyers loved them. Then China started making its own electric vehicles, cheaper, better software, and Chinese consumers started buying local. German car exports to China have collapsed, and with it, a huge chunk of Germany's economic model. Poland wasn't dependent on China. So when China stopped buying from Germany, Poland kept growing. Which brings us to 2025, the year Germany broke. 23,900 corporate bankruptcies. That's 65 companies going under every single day. Every morning, another business closes. Every afternoon, another employer disappears. Volkswagen, a company that hasn't closed a factory in Germany in 87 years, is now shutting plants and cutting tens of thousands of jobs. The company that symbolized German industrial might is retreating. But it's not just Volkswagen, the famous German Mittelstand, the mid-sized companies that formed the backbone of the economy, is crumbling. 76,300 personal bankruptcies this year. People losing their homes, their savings, everything they built. 5.67 million German citizens are now classified as over-indebted. And Poland? In September 2025, Poland crosses $1 trillion in GDP. It's now the 20th largest economy in the world, bigger than Switzerland, growing faster than almost anyone in Europe. Investments this year, 150 billion euros. Germany is shedding jobs. Poland is creating them. Germany is in crisis. Poland is booming. This isn't just about two countries. This is about the future of Europe. For 70 years, power in Europe flowed from west to east. That's changing. Eastern Europe, Poland, the Czech Republic, Romania, these aren't developing economies anymore. They've developed. Poland has recorded the fastest growth in real disposable income per capita in the entire developed world since 2023. Polish households are catching up to Western European living standards, fast. And Germany? Germany is stuck, trapped by the very model that made it successful. High energy costs, over-regulation, dependence on exports that no longer exist, and an aging population. Here's the uncomfortable question nobody wants to ask. Can Germany come back? Maybe. But it won't look like the Germany we knew. That Germany, the one built on cheap Russian gas and Chinese demand, that Germany is gone. Poland went from communism to capitalism in 35 years. From poverty to $1 trillion. Germany went from Europe's powerhouse to an economic crisis in less than a decade. This is what happens when you build an entire economy on assumptions that the world will never change. Poland didn't wait for permission. It adapted. It diversified. It built an economy that could survive shocks. And this is just the beginning. Because if this can happen to Germany, the most stable, powerful economy in Europe, it can happen to anyone.